Hello people, welcome to our channel, The Football Waves. I remain your host Kingsley, and I thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for your like, your share, your subscription, and also please put on the notification button so that when we drop a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Today we'll be talking about various things that has to do with the Arsenal Football Club right now. We'll be dealing on the transfer, we'll be dealing on the injuries, and also confirmation of contracts for players. So let's quickly dive into it. So from our previous video, we talked about how the team is faring right now, how Arsenal has been dropping points for their last 3, 4, 5 games, how they've had a very bad run in December. It has been a really dirty December for Arsenal, but on the lighter note, it is not too bad because there is still more games to play. This is just beginning of the second half of the season. So it is very important for a top team like Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Newcastle, and other teams that are looking up to get into the top 6 to go into the market and get quality signings that can improve the team. So we will be talking about the transfer rumors as players leaked to Arsenal in the last 24 hours. I will be looking at the possibility for Arsenal securing the signatures of these players. Firstly, we'll be looking at the Juventus striker, because in our previous videos, we'll be able to establish the fact that Arsenal need a goal poacher. Arsenal need a goal scorer, because the likes of Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus are not giving enough to the team to saw them to the first position in the league, and that is why the need arises for Arsenal to get a first team and a good goal scorer. We've had links for a speculation linking Vlahovic to Arsenal in the last 24 hours, but the chairman of the club of Juventus has come out to say there is no official statement made from Arsenal, there's no official proposal made for Arsenal, and that Vlahovic is not for sale at the moment. But you know right now that if Arsenal is to tender a very good tempting amount, a very good price to Vlahovic, I think Juventus will reconsider their options. Another player, another striker that is also in the minds of Arsenal is Ivan Toney. Yes, we all know that Brentford has been having a very, very, very bad run recently in the EPL, and if not well taken care of, they might be struggling with relegation because they have a couple of injuries of their players, and that would be a very big issue for Brentford to decide. Would it be possible for them to sell arguably their best striker, who has been bound for football for a couple of months and is just returning in this January? Will it be wise for Brentford to allow their top striker leave this January to another team when they are having a bad form and bad run? They are not scoring enough goals. What do you think? I think that will be, according to the coach, he said that it will be very difficult for them to allow Toney to leave, because Toney is important. He's a very important player, important squad player for them. And for him to leave, there's a speculation that any team that is coming for Ivan Toney, like Arsenal, will be ready to pay around 80 to 100 million pounds to acquire the signature of Ivan Toney. I think that will be a very interesting story going forward. We'll see how that story unfolds. So Arsenal has also been linked to other players in other leagues, most especially in Portugal, in Sporting CP. Arsenal has also been linked to Gonçalo Inácio. All right, we'll be looking at how Arsenal can strengthen the central back. It showed that even in the previous games Arsenal played, we saw that Arsenal is lacking in that area. We need a lot of reinforcement in that area, and Inácio is being valued for around 35 million pounds with 20 million euros add-ons if the deal fall through. So I'm very interested in that. I'm looking forward to what will Arsenal be doing in the market, which of the players will Arsenal be getting into the system. And there's also a linking Onana Onana of Everton to Arsenal. We all know that Onana is a very, very, very high quality player who has proven himself to be a formidable force in the Everton team. I remember the last time Arsenal went head to head with Everton, Onana was a very pivotal player. It was very important for the team, and he did a lot of great and important work. I think acquiring the signature of Onana will be a great one, pairing with Declan Rice and Odegaard in the midfield. It will be a very important addition. But I don't know if Arsenal will be, securing that deal, with also the rumor of Paulinho of Fulham also being linked to Arsenal for the January transfer window. It is going to be a very interesting one, because I understand that so many teams know that these top flight teams have to improve their teams, and it will be difficult. We all know that January is a very difficult time to acquire a signature of very good, important players, first team players all over the world. And for you to do that, you have to bring in enough cash to convince the club and also the player to join. Another player again that has also been linked to Arsenal is Jairo Ato. He's a defender from Ajax who is just 17, who will be turning 18 in a couple of weeks from now, and is valued for around £20 million. And it's a very interesting one, because the young lad is rated highly, in the Dutch league, and he has been doing perfectly well in Dutch league. So I understand when these links are coming up, when people are saying a lot of this, because Arsenal really need quality defenders, homegrown. Because if Arsenal happen to sign Jairo Ato before he turns 18, he will be regarded as a homegrown player for Arsenal, and we know what it means for financial fair play for you to have homegrown players being sold. That is very, very important. So we have so many speculations. Fedi Kadioglu, who's a left back from Fenerbahce, is also linked to Arsenal for around £20 million. And that is also important, because looking at the left back position, because we all know that Zinchenko is not doing perfectly well right now, and is currently injured. He has a calf injury, which is being checked right now. Right now, Arsenal doesn't know the extent to which that injury can take Zinchenko, but right now we know he's out with a calf injury. So Arsenal need a reinforcement in the left back. They need a support in the right back and the central defense, and that is obvious because everybody can see how Arsenal has struggled in the previous games they've played. Yes, that is very, very understandable that Arsenal need reinforcement. We talked about this before. We said there is a need for someone like Tierney to come back to the team, but we saw Tierney's post where he said he's comfortable, he's happy at Real Sociedad, and he wants to continue at Real Sociedad. He wants to see the loan spare to the end. Will Arteta call back Tierney? Who knows? But it is a likelihood, it is a possibility that Tierney will be called back to his parent club. So we'll also be looking at the injuries facing the team, and it's very important because that will also determine if Arsenal is going to reinforce in those areas. We know Euro Timber has been out since the beginning of the campaign. Speculations and people are saying he will be back before the end of January, before the end of February. But the truth is, he's still not in the team, and that is a minus to the team. Yes, and we also know that Fabio Vieira, who undergone a groin surgery, is still recovering and is not yet back to the team. And also, Thomas Partey is not back to the team. And these are first team players. These are quality players that, when they come into the team, will also bring their impact into the team. We understand that clubs all over the world, most importantly the EPL, has been battered with a lot of injuries from different teams. A lot of teams like Newcastle has a lot of players that have been injured, and that also affected their play and their results. So we are hoping, finger crossed, that these players get well soon and get back into the team. So we're going to be looking at the outgoings. Yes, we also heard during the week that Emile Smith-Rowe, we all know that he has been a very interesting player. He has been admired by many clubs in the EPL, especially Newcastle. And we know that Newcastle have quality players too, but they